The guy that I'm going to talk about real quick here and show you a couple of clips is Dallas Turner. He's from Alabama. He was co-defensive player of the year this year. One thing that I don't like about this guy, and I kept going back in my mind, I watched the tape on Will Anderson. You know, when Will Anderson was blocked, they would move him. He split double teams and made plays. He did everything that was necessary to be a great player. We know that. We've gone down that road. But this guy here, you know, he bothers me taking on blocks. You know, he's a stand-up guy outside. And when teams double team him or get physical, he has a tough time using his hands. And that may sound a little bit strange, but for a guy they're talking about going in the top 15, I don't see it. That's the one negative about this kid. Now, as far as his effort and as far as his body control and his first step, which you got to have that to be a great edge rusher. You know, guys that, you know, the Haley's had it, Jason Taylor had it, Richard Dent had it. Some of the great defensive end guys, they all had it. We're going to start with the first play that I talked about here, and it's a run play because I just wanted to reinforce this. He's going to be on the edge, number 15. Now you're going to watch this here. They're going to come off and kind of base block him, and this happens time and time again. He has a tough time placing his hands, shedding the block for as much leg strength and explosion as he has. You know, you see this time after time, just physically kind of getting swarmed by these big offensive linemen. That's the one thing that concerns me. Obviously, the guy can bend, as I said. He can use leverage. Right here, we're going to see him come off a little bit late getting off the block, but he does use his hands a little bit better. To me, it's not great. If you start talking about a top 10 player in the draft, this would concern me a little bit right there. Use your hands and see the play and come back quicker. Okay, here he is on the right side. Now watch this right here. This is what the guy can do. Most of his great pass rushers are just because he's got such. You're going to see him dip his shoulder, nothing fancy. Look, and he does dip and get underneath him. And then he has the explosiveness after contact to close on the quarterback or close on the running back like very few guys got. That's one of his strengths. Next one coming up here, we'll see it from the end zone. Very similar play. He obviously circles the whole pile. He's got enough ability to do this. And I think a lot of sacks come from defensive players because they just give more effort and they're better athletes than the offensive lineman. He twists around inside. This is the point. Doesn't lose his balance, stays after him and gets him on the ground. So you got a great athlete. You got a guy that gives really good effort. Okay, this one here is another rush with a little different technique here coming from him. And you're going to see a nice little dip, okay, and he makes a play. So he will do this. It's almost like if he knows where he's going and he doesn't have to use his hands and shed a block, that this guy can make an impact in the game. That's kind of what he does here. Look at the stiff arm right there. This is not, if we can get to that again, you know, he gives him the speed, the power move. He gets that left arm up under the guy, and because of his body lean and because of those explosive legs, he takes that offensive tackle all the way to the quarterback, and then he gets off the block and makes the play. But this was one of his more impressive plays that I thought he did. So that's kind of how I would sum him up. Outstanding athlete. As long as you got him on the move, as long as he's in space, he can make plays. But as far as him lining up and whipping people, I question it.